Welcome to this channel, people. So today here I'm going to talk about solutions. A solution is a problem solving technique, and we got to be an expert to find a solution in any subject. Do you know something? The reality is that for all the problems in the world there is a solution, and if you think there is no solution for any kind of problem, it means that uh, you haven't found the solution yet. But if you begin your search with your intelligence and with your experience, you can definitely find a solution for any sort of problem. And recently I came across a triangle where one point of the triangle would be like problems, and the other point would be that solutions, and the third point would be like, if there is a solution, then why should you worry? And connect these triangles where problem, solution, and why should you worry? Just be happy. Yes, of course people worry because they have a problem, and they don't know what to do. They think that they don't have a solution. But once you find the solution, you can be free, work towards it. Or if you didn't find a solution, try to find the solution. Just don't worry. Life is meant to be happy and spread love, embrace. Life is very simple, guys. Approach it in a very simple way. So you know what, today's mass medias don't guide you in proper way. That's a reality. They only speak about 10% truth and 90% of fake and unnecessary informations to keep you busy and to divert your attention towards something else. What we have to look at it look what we have to see is that what is the real problem right now, and you all have to work towards bringing in a quick solution to whichever is very much needed right now. So in today's world, the main issue right now which is happening is, one thing is the Gaza and Israel issue, the fight between the Palestinians and the Israelis, and you all know about it, and we got to do something to stop it. As a common man, I already spoke about it, and I'll further upload videos on that. And we can, as a common man, we can just write letters to our and send emails to our leaders of a country and the United Nations organizations, and to your local leaders. I'm from India, so it could be like maybe uh, to your area leader, and to your representatives of the towns and your state, and request them to do whatever they can, and use your social media to stand for justice. And today what Israel is doing, I really condemn the act of the leader of Israel, because there are a group, there is a lobby which is trying to create fights between two individuals, two countries, and between humanity and between humans and the nature. So this is life, guys. Respect all lives, all forms of life. It's not only that we should respect and embrace other human beings, we should also care for microorganisms. We shouldn't kill them with chemicals, fertilizers in our farms, and unnecessary killing of microbes. And also any animals and birds. We throw a lot of garbage waste into the nature, and it causes a lot of disturbance. uh, you have to recycle every product you use and give it back to the nature. So ultimately we have to go to zero garbage solution, which is like whatever we use, we got to like put it back to the nature. We should make sure that decomposes and it gets back to the nature. So the main thing I wanted to talk about on this video is, so why is there a fight between two individuals, and why is there a fight? Why is there an issue with someone else? It's because we aren't stable with our mind, and it could be like we are not getting enough justice. The issues could be anything. It could be an issue of a land, or issue of ego, issue of anything. But if there is a solution provider, if there is a court, and if we are getting our justice, and we have right to get our justice, and if we are getting it, probably the fight would be solved. And today the fight is happening in Israel and Gaza. uh, the one who's supposed to give the justice is United Nations. And as we know that since it's not been controlled by the common people, it's been controlled by the world leaders and the veto powers. And each individual country is making their own decisions, so we are not getting enough justice. That's why the war is still happening. In this situation, the UN has to send its army to go as a peacekeeping force between Israel and Palestine, and send their army to stop the war and stop the Israel army getting into the regions of Palestine and killing a number of children's and women's and also men's. And killing is not the solution, guys. We are all one humans, and we got to be friends. We can sit and talk for peace. And first of all, I strictly condemn the encroachment on Palestinian land. The Jewish people has to understand this. Palestinians embraced the Jewish people when they were in trouble, and they gave them land uh, to survive. And today the Jewish people are getting bad name because of their leader, whose activity is very injustice. So I have an idea where we can solve this issue, but I know it might take time to execute these. As a common man, I was thinking what to do with these things. And suppose if we have forget the United Nations, if we have some organization of justice, and every individual in the world and every independent has the right and power to vote for it, and we have a huge organization, so that we can bring a common man's court in every region of the world. For example, in every cities and every towns, every villages. And the judge of the court, the chief judge of the court, would be appointed by the people through democracy, and whoever gets the more vote of the people can become the judge. And these courts would be in all over the world, and justice wouldn't be denied, and the judgment will also be re-verified by the people by again a voting system, so that injustice has not been done in any way. The common people will have the right over the court, and they will appoint again a superior judge, the supreme judge of. There will be one supreme judge for all the judges of the court in the world. There will be one supreme judge, and there will be one election to appoint this supreme judge. and every people, each people, 700 people, 700 crore people exist approximately in the world, and everyone will vote for this to appoint the supreme judge. And if at all, if the judge is giving a wrong judgment, people will have rights to stop it. More than 50% of the people, if they vote for the judgment of the supreme judge, the judgment can be passed through. And if there is an injustice, this the judgment can be stopped. And there'll be an election every year, so that every year we'll have a new supreme judge. The powers would be changed. It wouldn't this is just a plan, and the people watching this video one day will have to support this idea and make sure we execute this, so that we don't have to ask the countries for justice. The common man can have the power to bring in justice. Look at Gaza-Israel issue. Every individual on the earth wants to stop the war, but the war is not being stopped because of one single person, that is the Israeli leader. This is just an idea, and I hope I'll talk about this in detail. So this idea is just for justice, and for say even the media has been controlled, because it has to follow certain rules of each countries, and the media and journalists, they don't have the freedom to speak the truth in reality. So for a country like India, what we have to do is we elect a prime minister, and in similar way we should have a representative, a supreme representative, to for all the medias in our country, so that, and this supreme representative will be also elected by the people, and the ruling leader, the prime minister, shouldn't have a control to stop any right of right to speech, freedom of the media, and even the election commission, it comes under, it's been controlled, it's not an independent organization. It has to, the chief officer of the election commission has to be appointed by again these ministers and prime ministers. And I believe these laws have to be changed. Yes, of course, I respect the Constitution of India. It's made for us, and after a huge struggle of freedom, we got this. But you know what? If at all the prime minister is making a mistake, the media has to be bold enough to point it out. But in today's situation, that has not been done, because we don't have an elected supreme lead representative from the media. Each media has been controlled by each individuals or a company, or it has to be obeyed. It has to obey the orders of the government, or else the satellite connections for it would be stopped. And there are a lot of issues like this. And again, this could also be for say example, the home department, the police department. They should also have certain rights to take actions, even if a minister is doing a mistake, so that even a representative from police department has to be the supreme representative of the police department. I think today for each state there are a representative, and again they have to obey the orders of the home minister. For example, these for a home minister has to be appointed directly by the votes of the people, not by winning an election, winning a Lok Sabha election, or winning a Rajya Sabha election and coming and they become a home minister. But how can people have powers then? People should take back the powers of the media. People have to take back the powers of the election commission. People have to take back the powers of the police department, um, and it will be better. Uh, Even if President of India has been appointed directly by the votes of the people. And I suggest these ideas. I hope Honorable Prime Minister has to look into it, and he has to change and bring resolutions to change this, to make it a law. And as a citizen of India, I believe I have the right to speech, and I have a right to suggest an idea. And so these are possible solutions what I've thought of. And again, I want to talk about little bit about, you know what, there are a lot of injustice happening in the medical field of uh, and you know what, the diabetes. Let me talk about diabetes. Before some 30 years, the point of diabetes was, if you have more than 200 points, you're being considered as diabetes. And if you have had less than 200, that is, if you have some 195 point, you're not considered to be a diabetic patient. And when years passed, these numbers were reduced, and later it came down to 180. And today, in today's world, I'm not very sure. I think if you have more than 160 point, or when you check for your diabetic and sugar level, if your point is more than 160, if at all 160, you're supposed to take the diabetic tablet and insulins and such things. So what made them reduce these points from 200 to 160? And people have to question this. They have to look into it. They have to do a research. Look into journals of many great legends who are even doctors. For example, Dr. B.M. Hegde, he speaks about it. And the same thing is with pressure, blood pressure. And you know what? Basically, blood pressure tablets were introduced to control the flow of blood in an operation theater. When your body is being opened in any part, normally the blood pressure will go high. And to control that, these tablets were introduced. And later, when the sales of these tablets were very low, the marketing companies gave ideas to pharmaceutical companies to grow these sales. You have to sell it. So they just spread a news saying each individual will have a universal blood pressure limit, and if it exceeds or becomes low, you have to take these tablets. But that's not true, guys. Just read proper journals. I suggest you all to read Dr. Biswarup Roy or Dr. B.M. Hegde, who is also one of the best cardiologists in the world, and he has his journals, and you can watch his speech on YouTube. And he's also a Padma Vibhushan winner, I think probably in 2021 or 2022. He's such a recognized doctor, and he also speaks these. So please be careful. And there is a lot to talk, and this is just a basic video which I'm making. Thank you for your support. This is Imam Mehdi reporting the truth.